All right, so this is a bit painful, but it's worth the extra effort. Should do it. All right, so now for the fun part. Honestly, the floor was the easy part. Definitely, most likely you guys didn't take like all day to do either one of these. So it was a nice start of the project, just doing the tile floor, getting your hands wet with the tiling. Now we're gonna do the herringbone style. And I'll just mention one thing about herringbone. It's not overly complicated, but the biggest time consuming aspect of it is just laying it all out. Laying all the tile out so that you can template this and make sure that you get the right cuts that you want on either side is really going to be well worth the effort. So if you have a client, or if you significant other wants a herringbone style pattern, I would just recommend accounting for that extra time of laying out the tile. It literally took me probably close to 2 hours laying it out all on the floor. So, if I was just doing a standard pattern with the 3x12s, I wouldn't even have to do any laying out. I would have been able to just start tiling and cut things accordingly. But the herringbone is pretty important, especially when you want to have the other side cuts to match everything. So if you're doing everything herringbone, it even makes it a little bit more complicated. So take the time to lay things out. That's really where you're going to spend all your time. And then the rest of it, setting it is not going to be that bad because you have everything cut and ready to go. But we are going to put a little recessed niche in the back wall here. If you remember, during the framing stage, I just made sure that I had enough room. This actually fits in a standard stud bay. So this is only, 13.5 inches. Most stud bays have 14.5 inches. So there's plenty of room to sit this in the back wall here. But we're gonna calculate that. So I have a little template that I put to mark the inside of this. So we'll kind of address this and take a look at where it's gonna be best suited. Obviously we want it centered. So I made sure my studs in this area will actually be able to be centered. It's just how far up or down. I just want to avoid slivers around the niche. So getting a recessed niche like this definitely saves time, and you can just install it as you go. And that would be the same thing if you were doing a standard brick pattern. You can come all the way up to here, measure up, put this in, and be able to get this perfectly where you need it. So you could start tiling and then put this in. I really think it's a better way to go, because then you're not, basically fighting with what you already put in. So let's go ahead and template this. We're going to do the back wall obviously first. Main reason is because when these sides tiles come in, they're going to hide that grout joint, but also this is like the big area of that herringbone. So we want to just make everything kind of branch off and match both sides. All right, so let's just get a template of this thing. Looks pretty good. Just make sure we have something just saying front. So that's like even right there, but you'd have, like, when you fold this, you'd have all those little tiny triangles in the corner.
Oh, no. Try shifting it. Let me just see what it looks like. Both sides look like...
This is 6 3/4 to the long point, 7 3/4 to the long point. 7 1/4. 7 1/4.
I was thinking that's balanced. I could tell by my eye.
All right, so then we don't want that little thing there. And you're gonna have that little triangle there. So this is the top, this is the bottom. It's almost the same.
I was gonna say at least they match.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right, I think that looks good. All right, so for the niche, you know, it really is personal preference, but we're really going for layout. But ideally, you know, I think personally, 45 inches is pretty nice. 42, it works well. Once you get up to 48, it does start to feel pretty high, but it really is all personal preference. So let's just go for 45 and see what that looks like. Yep, that's 45 right there. So you can see right here, I got like a little tiny corner there. So I'd probably want to move this down. We'll just make it down. We'll make it like something like that, because these are going to be the pieces that show right here. 44. I think that should work. We got time to adjust this, but let's just go trace this so that we can visually look at it. It's not bad. This pretty much matches this one. Yeah, I think that should work out well. So you got like this is probably the smallest piece right here at the bottom. These are all 4 pieces at the top. So I'd say that looks pretty good. But we'll just keep that there. And then when we start cutting, we'll cut that out later. But at least we have an indication where to put this. But I would suggest we'll tile all the way up to here, then cut in that niche. All right, so now it's just a matter of just tracing this outline, cutting all the tile. Now we'll just cut all these tiles, and you want to keep all of these pieces so that you can mirror the other side when you go to do the other side. So hold on to them, but we'll go ahead and cut this out. And I'll take a little bit of time to do too.